I'm Nikita, founder and pioneer of the global Journey from Karma to Dharma movement. What is Karma to Dharma? Karma is operating from reactive consciousness, and Dharma is operating from proactive or creative consciousness. This is very important in all forms of leadership. I believe that energy healing and spiritual psychology combined unlock better performance and innovation. We all know that when we go through circumstances in life, we store stagnant energy from unprocessed emotions in our body, but we also store them in our subconscious mind. So what I help people to do is to be able to recognize the blocks. This leads to people being able to overcome personal adversity in an inclusive way. What do I mean by that? It's very important for us as individuals to become purpose-led leaders rather than fear-led decision makers. We all have a choice in the way that we respond to different circumstances. It's up to us if we choose to operate from fear, which is the lower part of the mind, or from purpose, which is the higher intuitive part of the mind. In my talks, I inspire people to be able to recognize the difference between these two states of mind. I also give practical tools and tangible tips to take away to integrate into their daily life. I believe that it's very important to build emotional resilience as a leader, and the tools that I share do exactly that. These include mindfulness as a way of unlocking clarity, empathy, and in order to make better decisions. I also integrate breathwork, journaling, and meditation. What I've noticed in my work is that senior leaders struggle to ask for support. They tend to carry the load by themselves, whereas part of my talk is sharing about the importance of being able to receive and ask for help when needed. And I believe that this will, in the long run, reduce burnout, because I've noticed that burnout is becoming increasingly common. And through working in the corporate environment with different teams, I've been able to help people recognize the signs long before they show up. I hope that my audiences take away inspiration, but also empowerment. It's so important in our changing world. There's so much uncertainty and dominating of technology that it's really important to know ourselves so that we can bring the best version of ourselves to our teams. In my own experience of being on this journey from karma to dharma, I've noticed that this has shaped authentic leadership. I now show up feeling as though I can be myself rather than as though I'm performing. That's why I've created this unique framework. Karma represents the patterns that we have stored in our subconscious mind and the conditioning and the programming that we've all been brought up with. Whereas Dharma is that calm, clear center when we remember who we really are beneath the noise and behind all those labels. I believe that when leaders align with their Dharma, they stop performing and they start leading from their essence. And that's what the world needs more of today. And this level of alignment makes two things happen. Authentic traits start to shine through, such as integrity, empathy, courage, because they're no longer filtered through fear. And unique gifts start to come to the surface, such as individual strengths, which were otherwise masked, but now they start to become organizational assets. And this is the backbone of leadership work. Alignment first, and performance second. Because when we embody Dharma, trust rises, psychological safety expands, and innovation becomes a natural byproduct. I believe that energy healing and spiritual psychology helps to regulate the nervous system and reframe our limiting beliefs so that we can return to our essence, our dharma. And it's from that aligned state that the brain starts to shift from survival to creativity. In practical terms, this looks like clearer focus, better decision making, and more inclusive collaboration. Because when teams learn simple regulation tools such as breathwork, mindfulness, journaling, yoga, meditation, and they pair them with meaning, that's when our purpose flows. Performance isn't something that's squeezed out of us, it flows through us. And that's when innovation thrives, when people feel safe bringing their whole selves to the table. I think that adversity strips back our identity and only our true nature remains. So when leaders use their challenges in their favor, that's when they grow in their capacity for empathy with others. I guide leaders through 3 clear steps. The first step is to witness the pattern. That's observation. It's noticing what's really going on beneath the surface. The second step is to transmute the pattern, to regulate the emotion and to reframe the story. And the third step is to integrate. That's when we start to lead from that place of truth and authenticity. We create policies and rituals that honor different needs and voices. And the outcome is inclusive management grounded in lived compassion. Because I believe that fear leads when we're disconnected from our truth, but purpose leads when we're aligned with it. And that's why I teach a 5-part energetic alignment formula. I love doing this with teams. It lights me up and it lights them up when they learn this. The 5 ingredients in my formula are thoughts, words, beliefs, intentions, and actions. When we align those 5 with our true nature, clarity replaces confusion and courage replaces caution. Decision making becomes values driven, not approval driven. So the key takeaway is that Dharma is your true nature, not your job title. When you align with your Dharma, your personality traits shine and your unique gifts contribute to your organization. I give people practical tools to regulate stress, foster inclusion, and lead with purpose. Resilience is the ability to return back to our truth without stress, without pressure, because pressure only takes us back into karma, our patterns, over control, micromanagement, reactivity, whereas resilience practices such as breath work, mindfulness, journaling, etc., they bring us back to our true nature, where composure, perspective, and wisdom live. Aligned leaders don't need to be in panic anymore. They need to have steadiness in their state. So I believe that mindfulness is the bridge back to our Dharma, and that's exactly what I deliver in my keynote talks. It creates the pause between trigger and choice, and it's in that pause that leaders are able to access clarity, empathy, and discernment. Mindfulness isn't just wellness, it's decision hygiene that keeps your strategy aligned with your values. High achievers confuse their role with their nature. Some people believe that they have to have all the answers, whereas what I teach is that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's actually a sign of strength. Burnout is actually misalignment fatigue. It's your body's way of showing you that there's a chronic gap between what you value and what you are currently doing. And my experience, both personal and professional, has taught me that productivity without presence is simply depletion, whereas prevention is the best practice. In my talks, I take people back to their true nature. I help them to align with it so that they lead with clarity, regulate their nervous system, and are able to have the courage to contribute their unique gifts in a way that uplifts others and their organization. Because when we lead from Dharma, we don't need to manufacture confidence, we just need to remember it. Alignment isn't soft, it's scalable. It turns individual strengths into organizational advantages. Your work gets easier when your nature does the heavy lifting. I'm Nikita, and I take people on a journey from karma to Dharma.